What's up, ghouls and gals? It is Thursday. It is 7:30, and that means it's time for another episode of Two Severed Heads. And tonight we're kind of talking about the men behind the masks. As you see, two guys without masks on there. I'm sorry. I know it's a family show, and I don't mean to shock and awe people like that with pictures of us with masks on. But
we should probably warn viewers beforehand.
Right? There should be the little. Yeah.
These two will be optically unpleasant for your eyes.
How's it going, Steve?
Really good. Really busy. How's it going with you, man?
Good. Gearing up for another season of work in construction as I do up here in Canada. And you're hard at work at some of your art there, getting ready for the con season.
Yes, sir. Getting Terrifier Book 3 almost done. So Terrifier fans, get ready.
Yeah, go to Steve's page, go to Facebook. You'll find the site. You can pick up Terrifier there. You can pick up Harvester there. He's got some great stuff. Go check him out. But yeah, con season. I missed. We had media passes for Toronto Comic-Con, which took place last weekend. I was a little under the weather. Zeus, my cohort over there on Ratchy TV, he was a little busy, so we didn't make it. We apologize for people that were expecting us there, but we will be. We'll be all over the place this summer. So. Coming out to the con.
I love con season.
Yeah, man. It's a good time.
I saw some pics from fellow artist friends and everything from the Toronto con. It looked good. Like,
yeah, it looks like good setup for sure. They've definitely stepped it up. It being the baby con, like the sister con to the fan expo. It's done well the last couple of years.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. As we talked about, we're kind of talking about the men behind the masks and not masks per se, but we're going to talk about just some of those iconic horror actors, some of those guys that are just, you think of them, you think horror. And that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. So if you have a favorite, horror icon and you want to shoot the shit about them, throw it in the comments. Or if you just want to talk about anything and interrupt the show, that's fine too. We love it. Welcome all comments and questions. I do screen them first mostly. But yeah. And we got some news. We're going to talk news. And then we got a movie this week. We're going to review a movie. And you and I both watched the latest Children of the Corn.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's coming on a little bit later in the show. So stick around for that. If you haven't seen it yet, hey, maybe you want our opinion. And we're going to give it to you. No holds barred. But yeah, well, other than that, what's up, man? Anything?
Oh, just lots of drawing, man. Like you said, I'm stoked for con season coming up, trying to get some big paintings done, but I've just been grinding at Terrifier Book 3 to get that done. And then, yeah, going to be grinding out some more original art to bring to cons. I got this big bad boy behind me.
Yeah. People who don't follow the page or follow your page, an awesome leather face there.
About the size of a door. So, yeah, I'll be bringing that with me on the road.
For that hardcore TCM fan.
Yes, that will be in someone's dining room or living room or something, scaring the hell out of their family.
Right. Yeah. So some guy's going to get a tongue lashing from their significant other for sure. But we can't fault them. We can't fault them because we love horror, and that's why we come to you every other Thursday, because we just like talking horror with like-minded people. So yeah, let's get into it, man. The men behind the mask. Steve, you're slightly older than me, not too much. I'm not trying to age you, but you are slightly older than me. Yeah. And we both grew up in that time when there really was only a handful of channels.
Yeah,
I mean, we're that old for anybody under 30 watching. Yeah, we had a couple channels and no dials and yeah, it was strange to think about now. But we watched a lot of older stuff because we didn't always get new content. VCRs were expensive in the 80s. I knew one guy on my block until I was in high school before my parents bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle had one first. I think it was a Beta. And I remember we went over there and we were like cavemen seeing fire. Like for the first time, like it was the one that popped out the top, I believe.
Right. Yeah. Like my neighbor had the same one.
Yeah. And it was huge. This thing was massive.
For sure.
But we were all in awe of this. Like the future's here.
And they would just go to the video store, rent a handful of stuff, and just no parental guide. No, just pop them in and boobies. I mean, yeah. Strange times for sure. But yeah, talking about the older stuff, we're gonna go back. We're gonna do the timeline thing here as we go through the history of. I mean, what bigger names were there in horror than guys like Bela Lugosi?
Just oh man, he's a legend, eh?
Yeah, he had over 172 stage productions before he ever even did his first silent film in 1931.
Wow.
Or sorry, in 1918.
That's insane, eh?
Yeah. So a seasoned veteran actor, and then Dracula in 1931 changed the game.
Well, even nowadays, like if you watch that Hotel Transylvania, they still have the Bela Lugosi accent, right? Like,
yes,
his legacy has like just carried on.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we talk about Dracula here, Son of Frankenstein, White Zombie, and then near the end of his career, he did a few Ed Wood films, Bride of the Monster, Plan 9 from Outer Space, which was actually, I think those were actually older takes. I don't think he actually shot those. It was just older takes they used for that movie or something like that. But nonetheless,
Planet 9 was pretty wacky, eh?
Yeah, it was weird. But I love that. I love that stuff. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Moving on here, another just legend, Lon Chaney. I mean, obviously Lon Chaney Jr., his son, you know, took the torch and ran with it. But Lon Chaney doing, you know, The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 23, and then in 1925, Phantom of the Opera.
Oh man, I know. And he did his own makeup and prosthetics. Like he had that big bag with him, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and another veteran stage actor.
You could tell because of their posturing and everything. Like, look at Lugosi. He could hold you with a look.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, these guys were just amazing.
Yeah. We talk about Junior there, you know, kind of taking the torch and running it as he did. I mean, not really surpassing his father, but I mean, in terms of the amount of roles and the amount of pictures, given the times too. But I mean, just, you know, only man to ever play 4 of the original Universal movie monsters. He did Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, Mummy, and Dracula.
Oh, wow. He was great as a Wolfman, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably his best for sure.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah. And then we, you know, I mean, these guys are like the Mount Rushmore. You know, we talked about Chaney Jr., Bela Lugosi. You can't forget the great Boris Karloff.
Oh my God.
Like Frankenstein, man.
Exactly.
I loved Frankenstein when I was a kid. He was my guy. He was my favorite of the. I definitely had a close place in my heart for Creature from the Black Lagoon as a close second, but Frank was my guy.
Same. I always felt bad for him, especially that part with the little girl and everything. Like, man.
And of course, narrating the Grinch, you know, as many kids grew up with watching that original The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah. So good.
You know, it just seems like these European, you know, Lugosi was Hungarian. I think Chaney was born here. I'm not sure about Karloff, or sorry, born in the States, but I'm not sure about Karloff. But
no, I'm not sure.
Another British actor. I hope he's British because I already said it. But Christopher Lee.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Played Dracula 9 times.
And you know what? He's my Dracula. I grew up with Hammer Films.
Right.
Pretty much that's all the films that I grew up with. And he was such a fierce Dracula. Like when you saw him and the eyes would be red and everything. Like he was a Dracula that I was actually pretty scared of when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I mean, for a guy who played Dracula 9 times, I mean, if you're casting a count, obviously you go Christopher Lee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course, Count Dooku there for Star Wars fans or maybe horror fans not in the know who don't do the sci-fi thing. But yeah, he was great as Dooku as well.
Oh my God. Everything he touches is gold there. Just lovely.
Yeah. A guy who he worked with a lot over the course of his career, Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing. Oh.
He was in 6 of his 9 Dracula films, I think, or sorry, 5 as Dr. Van Helsing.
Yep.
He played Baron Frankenstein 6 times.
Wow.
And of course, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh, just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't think of these films with anybody else in these roles.
No. And Peter Cushing, once again, like the rest of the others, like just his posture and his facial look and everything, he just had you the minute he stepped on the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Love those old films as we kind of move into the 70s here. Really when I think any horror fan would agree was really when horror took off.
Yes.
And I mean, you want to talk about a look. I mean, unfortunate the circumstances from which they came, I guess. But, if you don't know the story, Michael Berryman, his father, was a surgeon who was over in Hiroshima after the bomb, and was there helping out and doing aid work there and stuff. And when he returned to the States, he actually had radioactive sperm. And Michael Berryman's condition was the result. No body hair, no fingernails. But you want to talk about the look for horror, and kind of fell into it. If you've ever seen a Berryman interview, I'm sure you've heard the story of how he just kind of fell into acting. And I mean, the first 3 films he worked in was Hills Have Eyes, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that's great.
And oh god, I can't think of the other, but I mean, just the 3 directors he worked with to start his career, like
unbelievable, eh?
Yeah. And embraced it, embraced his look and embraced what he could bring to the horror genre. Obviously, if you've ever met him or seen him in an interview, he's a funny guy, really funny guy.
Highly positive too, like
yeah, for sure, and super intelligent. Like
yes,
you could pick a subject and have a hour-long conversation with Michael about just about anything.
That would be awesome, eh? Like just to sit and have a pint or a coffee with him, like
wow. For sure. I got to narrate his panel at Comic-Con last year, so that was pretty cool for me.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. Another guy who I didn't meet, I think he was, I'm not going to say last year, maybe Frightmare, or within the last couple of years. I'm pretty sure he was in Niagara Falls, but I didn't get a chance to meet him, and I really regretted it after the con.
Oh,
yeah, Ken Forey, like the guy's been in so many. He's been in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. He was in Dawn of the Dead. He was in the Halloween movies. He's been in the Devil's Rejects. He was in the X-Files.
Oh my God. That's right. Yes, they fled to him, the Devil's Rejects. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And doing this, I never realized in the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I love.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was the evangelist at the beginning.
Oh, damn. That's right. That is cool. Man, I didn't put that together. Good call, man. I think we might have lost Steve. Oh,
no, I'm back. Yeah, Ken's great. You love him in everything you see, for sure. Yeah. This next guy, I think for years, a lot of this movie kind of got put by the wayside because of the success of the 90s franchise, a horror movie being nominated for Best Picture, which was fucking rare.
Yeah.
And just the Anthony Hopkins presence that he brought to, Hannibal Lecter as in Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. And but, first.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We got Brian Cox. And Brian Cox is I love this guy in everything he's in.
That's right. Yeah, same here. In Manhunter.
Yeah. What was the movie you turned me on to? The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yes.
Yeah, with Emil Hirsch.
Isn't he? He's just awesome.
He's such a good actor. Have you seen? He's on a new drama series. I haven't checked it out yet, though. Man, I can't think of what it's called now. Maybe somebody will put it in the comments. But yeah, his portrayal of Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter, late 80s film,
made by the guy who did Miami Vice.
No way.
Yeah, that's why you'll notice the music and some of the film filter colors and everything will almost match Miami Vice.
Wow. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this one because it's been a while for me.
The shootout at the end with iron butterflies in the Garden of Eden. Oh my God, I love that scene.
Yeah, for sure.
That was so good.
Was it the 27-minute long version?
No. Damn it.
Oh, won't you come with me? I always love that Simpsons skit where he switches the
organ music.
He switches the music to hit a Garden of Eden in the Garden of Eden.
By Iron Butterfly.
That's great. Yeah, but I kind of talked about it before. Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins, the guy's just, again, one of those guys that everything he touches is just
amazing.
And what he brought to the role of Hannibal for sure was
just the looks and everything, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh man, it was love that.
Wearing the skin of the security guard there.
That's right, in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah, made it go. Hannibal ate his face, but it was
nasty.
And like I said, just when you couldn't think, of anybody, I couldn't think of anybody else in that role after Hopkins did it. No way.
No.
That role's untouchable. He's ruined that franchise because one day he's going to die and there'll be no more Hannibal movies. But then we got Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
On the TV show. And man, I don't know. Like, I'm torn.
Me too. He owned it.
Because I loved his Hannibal.
Same. I was going into it kind of with reservations, and I was like, I don't know. No one else can play Hannibal. And after the first episode, I was hooked.
Yeah, for sure. And this movie kind of fell by the wayside, I think. Have you seen Hannibal Rising?
I have, where he was young, right? And
right.
He was in his homeland with his sister, Misha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
You know what? It had some really good points in it. I really liked some parts, but other parts, it just kind of felt like a revenge movie.
Yeah, for sure. Regardless of what you thought of the story, Gaspar Ulliel?
Yeah, he's that model.
Yeah.
Over in Europe.
I thought he was great.
Same.
And you see Aaron Thomas as young Hannibal there in the beginning of the film there.
Yeah, that was Richard. Wasn't Richard Blake in that? Yes, he was. Who was in 31 and the last Devil's Rejects movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the guy who Hannibal put the horse around the tree with the rope around his neck, and he was pulling the horse, and it kind of popped his head off. That was Richard Blake.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
By far, that's the best one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Hannibal Rising.
It's because it's origin. That's why I love it.
I really liked it. I kind of like mystery behind killers, where you're kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm big on origin. That's my thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I like the Prime 2017 Leatherface. It's only one because of that.
Yes, exactly. That was crazy.
Yeah, moving on here. Not a huge body of work. I mean, he was in a bunch of stuff, but notably not a whole huge body of work. But I mean, this guy messed me up when I was a kid. Watching these movies messed me up, and he was in the original four, mostly I think of the 80s. I think maybe there's one made in the 90s, but then he came back just 3 months before his death and completed Phantasm Ravager right before he died. But yeah, the tall man, Angus Scrimm.
Oh yeah, damn.
He was in Chopping Mall. He was in Wishmaster. He did have some notable work, but
yes,
I'll always see him as the tall man.
Yeah, look at that look, eh?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I already didn't like going to funeral homes and stuff like that. We had a lot of tragedy in my family when I was young, so I was a lot of funerals, man. And I got to that point where I was just like, I can't do the funeral thing anymore. That's why I'm glad a lot of people are doing celebration of life.
Yeah.
Because funerals,
they're hard.
They are. Yeah. But yeah, the Angus Scrimm, man, like that.
Oh, just look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Phantasm, or it's one of those movies where I just,
That's a face I need to paint.
yeah, I'm surprised you've never done an Angus Scrimm without.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
The ball, yeah.
Yes. That's a good idea. I didn't know enough people would know him. You know what I mean? If I painted it.
It is a very cult movie for sure, even for horror fans, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always bring that one up and people give me kind of that, like that side look.
Yeah. What started as, I guess you could say, a cult movie and grew into just a worldwide phenomenon. And this was my very first Comic-Con interview. You could listen to this guy read baking instructions.
Oh, Doug. Yeah.
Doug Bradley is, it's again, one of those roles where I think he played it for so long. We were like, I can't see anybody else as Pinhead. But then we got was it Hulu?
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was a Hulu exclusive. Yeah.
I don't know the actress's name. I don't have it in front of me. I apologize, but she was great.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. So,
but you're right about Doug's voice. He could read a phone book and it would sound amazing. Like that guy. Wow.
And of course, you see him in Nightbreed here as well.
Oh, one of my faves.
Yeah.
Love Nightbreed.
Yeah, for sure. You see my nervous face here as I was so nervous even to just ask him for the interview. He seemed like this, surly old grumpy. And I was like, oh man, I held him so high and for so long, being, such a diehard horror fan. Yeah, Doug is an awesome guy. So I asked him for the interview and he was like, absolutely no problem, whatever you want. And across from Celebrity Road, there was I can't remember the station, and I don't want to smear them anyways, but there was a station and it said classic rock or hard rock or something like that. And they were playing something like Shania Twain or something like that. So he was already annoyed and we were about to start the interview and he got up and walked over and he's like, hey, first of all, this isn't rock and I'm about to do an interview. So turn this crap down. So right there, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then I started interviewing him and he was just the nicest guy.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I've only heard good stuff about Doug. Like he's
and he's going to be back this year.
Oh, you know what? I've never met him.
Yeah, I definitely would stop by his table for sure.
I want to.
Yeah.
Jamie Clayton is the new Pinhead.
Oh yes, Jamie Clayton. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. That movie was so good. I'm glad it's getting a hard copy release because I need to own that.
Yes, I will own that one. That is so good.
Yeah. This next guy, things could have been a lot different had one audition gone any differently. If you don't know the story, I'm going to tell it here. A couple of actors, young up-and-coming actors in the late 70s were, auditioning for this, auditioning for that. And one of them came home to his roommate and said, I just auditioned for this thing called, Star Wars. It's, kind of silly. I auditioned for Luke and I auditioned for Han and I didn't get it, but here's a script. You should try and audition for it. And handed the script to his roommate, Mark Hamill. Well, the roommate was Robert Englund.
No way. England?
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Oh my God. The funny thing is, I could see Hamill being a really good Freddy with his voice work.
Hamill, yes, going the other way, but yeah, seeing Robert Englund as Han or possibly Luke.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the guys. Sorry.
No, I don't see him as being Luke. Maybe Han. He has that kind of.
Yeah, he's got that smarmy kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see Bill Moseley for sure. Yeah. Is he next? He is.
Moseley.
He is. After next on our list, yeah.
So, yeah, Mosley's a treasure.
We're definitely going to talk about Moseley. We got him on the list here.
Love Bill.
But yeah, some great roles. Do you remember V?
V, yes, where they are lizard people and they'd eat the rabbits and everything.
Yeah.
He's the only nice alien.
Yeah,
I
love that show.
I loved V.
Oh man, yeah.
Straight up Yoda.
He was Willie in V. I remember that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Robert Englund is Yoda.
V was awesome.
Yeah.
I want to go back and watch V now. You know what? I haven't seen that since the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, was there just the one movie? Was there two?
No, there was a whole series.
Well, it was a miniseries, but then there was the movie too.
Yes.
At least one movie.
I think there was a couple.
It was as good though.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was awesome. I loved that. I thought it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, remember when that came on and there's nothing like it on TV at that time, and everyone's like, "Oh, like wow!"
I was just freaking attached to the television with that thing.
And
awesome.
you know, being a horror fan, I'm not. I love Freddy. I love what he brings to the table. I hold Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, as one of the greatest horror movies ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of slowly start to lose me with the campiness and the jokes and the constant, you know, but very innovative. I always liked the kills, and I always liked what they did with Freddy. It was always very new, always very fresh, always very cool as far as the prosthetics and stuff. But I gotta confess here, I've never seen this one.
Oh, don't.
With oh geez, what's his name? Jackie Earl Haley.
Yes, he played Rorschach in The Watchmen.
Right. And he was in the latest RoboCop remake.
Yes, he was. Yeah, but wasn't he a kid actor too? Wasn't he that he was always like kind of the bully, surly kid. He was in the Bad News Bears or something too.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I do remember hearing that somewhere, that he was in Bad News Bears.
Yeah, he was that badass kid.
Yeah. Oh my God, I totally see that now.
I watched it. That movie got a lot of shit. I didn't mind it. It didn't really capture the same feel as the first Nightmare.
Right.
So
yeah, that first one, that was a tough bar.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
They set it high for sure with that first one.
As an actor, I would never step into that role.
I had somebody else first, but you know what? We'll skip, and we'll mention Bill Moseley, as Mike Al mentioned in the comments a few seconds earlier. Bill is a fantastic guy.
Yes, he is.
We were at Frightmare in the Falls last October, and I ended up getting his panel. It was standing room only.
Wow.
I mean, I know the guy was a legend, and there was a lot of legends there, but man, out of all the panels I saw, out of all the panels I hosted that week, Bill's was like, it was jammed to the doors. Like we couldn't even let any more people. There's people that were lined up that did not get into his panel.
Seriously.
Like Bill is just obviously people that, you know, just love him, love his work, and probably people that have met him before. And he is just one of those just genuinely great guys. 100% in Rotten Tomatoes. I think it opened up to with critics. Opened up with the North by Southwest Film Festival. Yeah. April release, I think, right?
I believe so.
April release date. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
And Bill has been in absolutely everything, like The Blob. He's been in the remake of Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead. He's been in everything.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, all of Rob Zombie's movies. Like,
they're coming to get you, bro. Yeah, I wore that T-shirt when I hosted the panel, and Bill thought it was pretty great. And I didn't know we shared a name until I started digging into his past, and his middle name is Lambert.
Seriously, is that a family name?
William Lambert Moseley. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We talked about the Night of the Living Dead remake, which was fantastic. I mean, another guy that was in that.
Tony,
who is just a legend in the game.
Yeah.
I remember seeing your group photo with all the cast there. That's awesome. I was definitely jealous of that for sure, Mike.
That would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Tony Todd is just one of those guys that, you know, I mean, he's been in Candyman. He was in the Night of the Living Dead remake, as we showed there. The Final Destination movies.
Yes. Hatchet,
yeah,
and his voice, man, that dude's voice, wow, he's the coolest guy ever.
Yeah,
love Tony.
I love the original Night of the Living Dead. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I still watch it almost on a yearly basis.
Nice.
But I equally love the 1990s or 89 version, the remake. It was just so good, and Tony Todd was one of the reasons. Yeah, for sure. The rapport, him and I can't remember the other guy's name, but the douchebag there, you know. Yes. Yeah. They had some great scenes together.
The little bald dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not usually the villain, but I could not include this next guy because he's just been in so many horror classics, so many sci-fi horror classics. I mean, the guy is, you can't think, I can't think of horror without thinking of Lance fucking Henriksen.
That guy, oh my God, just a legend.
Yeah.
It was funny. I got a story about him a couple of years ago. I think it was right before the pandemic. I'm at, Lance was at the Niagara Falls Comic-Con. I'm at my booth. And it kind of slowed down. The con kind of slowed down, and my son's with me, and we're just kind of cleaning up the booth, and someone walked up to the table. So I was just looking for stuff, and I look up, and it's Lance, and he's flipping through my portfolio.
Nice.
And I went, Lance Henriksen. He's like, yeah. And we start talking, and we got into this huge conversation. I guess he's a huge potter. Like he has this massive pottery building he built, like, you know, what do you say, like 50,000 square feet, like, thing's massive. And yeah, we must have sat and talked for like 20 minutes just about art. Nice. And so he leaves. And so Ben's like, who is that old guy? Like, my son's like, well, and I'm like, I kind of look at him, I'm like, you don't know Lance Henriksen? Like,
yeah, that's another one of those guys where I was so busy that whole weekend. I remember when it was over, I was like, fuck, I didn't get a chance to meet Lance.
Oh, Near Dark. Yes, Dark. It is.
Yeah, I'm not a vampire guy. I'm self-admitted. I say it all the time. I'm not big on the vamp, but that Near Dark's a great movie.
Yeah. Pumpkinhead. Yeah, like everything he touches is just gold.
Yeah, you mentioned Pumpkinhead. That's the one that always sticks with me. This movie legit gave me nightmares.
It was creepy, eh?
Yeah. Just that whole vibe. Like anytime it was, you know, walking home, because we had no curfew. There was no coming home when the lights were, like, the street lights came on. Coming home on those cold, windy, rainy autumn nights, just the trees and that whole Pumpkinhead feel, man. And I remember my heart would start racing. I'd start running fucking home. I think that's why I was so good in track.
You're so afraid of Pumpkinhead and Poltergeist.
But yeah, Lance, you know, also one of only 2 actors to ever be killed by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator.
That's right.
The other, of course, being the late, great Bill. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Bill's sidekick in Terminator there, where he had the purple hair, the other guy who got killed was the bad guy from Cobra.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The guy, the big guy with the jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hosted his panel as well.
Really cool guy.
Yeah, great guy for sure. That brings us. We got one more comment here before we get to the halfway point. And Van Damme. Yeah, sorry. As we get to the halfway point here, we got to pay the bill, so we got to go to our sponsor here. Did you take your girlfriend up to a cabin in the woods and she became possessed and you had to kill her? And now the family is suing you for wrongful death? Were you babysitting when a mass murderer broke in and killed your boyfriend and terrorized you and the kids all night? And then you spent the rest of the night talking to the police and you weren't paid overtime? Or were you simply on vacation and woke up in a bathtub with ice and a kidney missing in your hotel's been ransacked, and now the hotel is asking you to pay for damages? Then you need to contact Lobster Shark, Attorney at Claw. They have people waiting to take your call.
Lobster Shark, Attorney at Claw.
It's
Lobster Shark, Attorney at Claw.
That's right, people. If you're ever in a jam, there's no case too shady that they will not take. I mean, anything, shootings, you know, stabbings. I mean, there's just nothing they won't take. Even if it looks like you're going up the river for 30 plus years, Lobster Shark, Attorney at Claw will help you. Stan Winston film.
Oh, Pumpkin must be referring to Pumpkinhead. Yeah, that was a big Stan Winston one.
Okay. Yeah. So now that we've paid the bills, we can move along here. You know, I kind of saved the big guys for last. We're gonna go down our Jasons and our Michaels and our Leatherfaces. So I wanted to get to one more guy first because this guy's the up and comer. I think, you know, really only known for playing the one character so far, but I mean, this character has taken horror by storm. I mean, we've got a trilogy of films here. We saw him in The Mean One, portraying a psychopathic Grinch as well. Yeah, this guy's going to be at Comic-Con as well.
Yes, he is. David, you know what? You're right. David's the future. He is going to be the up and coming, or he is the up and coming. Like, you know, and it's good to see because David's a good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we wish him all the success and definitely look forward to seeing him at Niagara Falls Comic-Con.
Yeah, can't wait.
So yeah, that brings us to the big. What I consider the big three, and that's Michael, Leatherface, and Jason. Sorry, Freddy fans. You know, it's a bit biased. It's a bit of my bias but not as many actors to play Freddy as well.
No.
So I saved these guys for last, and we're going to start with the original. In the last 2 days, I've watched the first 4 Friday films. More FX guys should direct. Winston, Nicotero, Savini. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and
I'm glad that we are getting back to that age where we're using a lot of more practical effects with the CGI and not going full CGI because it's just 80s. The 80s were such a great time for fucking horror movies.
Oh yeah, like look at The Thing, like unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, they are definitely the big three.
Yeah. Starting with the first one, you know. Young Jason, obviously Pamela Voorhees was the killer in the first one, but we did get glimpses of a very young Jason Voorhees played by Ari Lyman. Have you met Ari?
I have not. He's come by my booth, but I have not formally like, hey Ari, how you doing? No, I haven't. Have you?
He's a great guy. I've met him a couple times. He's definitely a great guy. Strange, a little strange.
Doesn't he
not
play,
a bad thing. But I don't think you can play young Jason and not be a little strange.
No. But doesn't he rock out on a guitar that's in the shape of a machete?
He does have a band, yeah. I've never actually heard that, and I think they played the after party last year.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm kicking myself for not seeing that visual.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to meet Ari at a con, definitely go in. If you're a Friday fan, go check. He's such a super nice guy. I met him with my daughter last time he was around, and just a super, super nice guy. Moving on to number 2. I know this isn't the guy who was in the credits. I know it's not the guy who goes around cons taking credit for it. And I am biased. One, because I've heard the story firsthand, and I'm not even going to mention the other guy's name because even though he wasn't credited with it, he was credited as stuntman. Steve fucking Dash is the real Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, he's a sackhead Jason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other guy was fired. He couldn't get through the window scene. He was basically fight. They shot that first. It was like one of the last scenes in the film. They shot the window scene first, and he couldn't get the window scene, and he was fired. But because of the contract, they couldn't not get his name on the credits as Jason, so they had to list Steve Dash as stuntman.
Oh yeah,
it's hard not to pick Kane just because he's played him so many times for sure.
Yeah,
I can't fault you there. But yeah, so that's the Steve Dash story. Unfortunately, we lost Steve 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Again, one of my very, very first interviews, I got to interview Steve Dash, and
wow,
it was such an honor. I was so nervous. We talked about a lot of stuff. He loved the old movies, and I grew up on that stuff. He loved Jackie Gleason. He loved Jerry Lewis, and we had just lost Jerry Lewis, so we talked about Jerry Lewis. And,
no way.
Yeah, wow. It was really cool. And then obviously, you know, Jason got his look in the third one, the famous hockey mask. You know, definitely a way more menacing look. I like the sackhead, but
me too.
I think the hockey mask was just way more marketable.
Yes.
Yeah. Richard Broker, who played him in part 3. Again, most of these guys were stuntmen.
Yeah.
As opposed to actors. Not that any of them hadn't acted, because Steve Dash had a long career. He was in a ton of stuff. He was One of the other stories, sorry to get off Richard here for a second, but do you remember the movies FX with Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy?
Yeah.
So he was the maitre d' who got lit on fire in the restaurant scene at the beginning.
Really?
And he drove the cars in a lot of the car chase scenes in FX. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That was
I always
cool.
loved those movies when I was a kid.
I know. Same here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
in the movie, in a movie, for sure.
Mears in the last Friday the 13th, he had a bit of a sack look till he grabbed the hockey mask. Remember when he was in those underground tunnels? He had the kind of that sack look.
And we do have the Camp Crystal Lake coming up.
Oh yeah, I hope that's good.
Yeah, I really, really hope that's good too. Moving on here to part 4, Ted White. Another one of those guys. Only played him once, but no less legendary. This was a good one. I love this movie.
Yes, it was great. The gore was like taken up a notch in this one
for sure. Because before that, a lot of it was off screen.
Yeah,
or implied.
Yes,
yeah, for sure. As we move on to part 5, this next guy, he's the only guy to play Jason, Michael, and Leatherface, and that's Tom Morga.
Get out of here! Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I knew that, but I had forgotten. And when I was researching it, I was like, "Yep, definitely got to mention that," because I do remember hearing that before.
It's the blue mask one, the fake Jason one.
Yes, well, it was the ambulance driver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was his kid that was hacked up at the beginning at the whatever home for troubled kids, right?
Yeah.
Last Frightmare, I got a chance to meet this next guy, and a nicer guy you will not meet than CJ Graham.
Oh yeah, he is a cool cat. He's a big dude too, right?
He is a big man.
I got to meet him in Hamilton. He came over to my booth and was looking at some art, and just massive, the size of that guy.
Part 5 is underrated.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But super nice guy, eh?
Yeah, he was actually, I wasn't even in line to meet him. I was just kind of standing around, hanging around with my daughter and her boyfriend. And he really wanted to meet him. So I was like, he'd never been to a con before and didn't know, the protocol or whatever. I was like, come on, just walk up to him and just say hi, man. I'm like, seems like he's a nice guy, and he went over and he was messing around with them. And then he's like, who's this guy over here creeping us out, standing there looking at us? He's like, is this Dad? He's like, come over here, Dad. And came over and and then kind of was busting his chops about being with my daughter. And it was, yeah.
That's awesome.
Made him very, very uncomfortable. But yeah, a couple guys mentioned, Kane. It's hard to not think,
Oh yeah,
I think of Kane Hodder as Jason, having played him 4 times, even though one of those is a movie in which we do not speak of on this show. Hence the 3 pictures here. I'm sorry if you like that one, but we just And if you comment about it, I won't post it because we don't talk about that one.
Yeah, Kane, he is the gold medal for horror actors.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah. I cannot argue that Kane is, just right again, the only guy to play him more than once.
Yeah.
So, and definitely the, 3 of the better films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's his ferocity. Like when you see Jason, I think Kane was the first one that did the breathing. Like when you saw Jason, he was like this now. And it was like he was amping up to come at you.
The lip tattoo.
Is Martin getting a lip tattoo?
Does Kane have a lip tattoo?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. And Steve likes to joke around and pretend like he hates Jason X. Every time we bring it up, we know that's Jason X is fucking great. I love that movie.
I do like some of the kills. That nitrous oxide kill.
Yeah,
pulls the head out and shatters. Oh yeah.
He's got a lip tattoo. Oh, they got on the inside here. It says "kill." That's awesome. That's cool.
Seriously,
for sure.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Nice. That's good.
Damn.
That's cool. There you go. The more you know. See,
Is
that's
there
why
a
we need-
story
that's why-
behind
that's why
how
we
he
need
figured that
like-minded
out?
people on the show to, you know, help everybody, learn everybody,
Nice.
teach everybody. Because I
How
just
did you?
looked up.
I want to know how Martin found that out.
Is that extra? Like you pay for the photo op and then
You get to pull his lip down, or
there's a kissing booth after? No.
with Kane?
Yeah, that's a good way to get punched for sure. He's a big man. Then we got Jason versus Freddy. This one brought the blood.
Oh man.
I'm glad they went over the top with this because I couldn't have it any other way with these two.
Oh, for sure. Like that bush party they had out in the cornfield and everything, that was awesome.
He doesn't kiss and tell. Smart.
He's a gentleman.
Smart. Yeah. Ken Kurtzinger was great. I would have liked to see him get another shot at Jason.
Me too. He did a really good job.
Yeah, I agree. Kung Fu Freddy. Is that Ken? Talking about Ken? I'm not sure. You're going to have to throw us in there. And then last but certainly not least, you know, it's been a long time since we had a Friday movie. And 2009, I mean, for Friday fans, this is the movie we deserved.
Yeah.
Well, I love them all in their own way, except for the one we don't talk about. But 2009 was just, it was so good. And Derek Mears, like.
Now that was a ferocious Jason, right?
Yeah. Just
I think it's the first one we've ever seen run. Like, remember when he had that axe and that girl was running and he just kind of did that quick triple step run and then just hacked her? Like, damn.
Yeah, the brutality was great. Freddy does these.
Oh yeah, when they're in that on the dock and on the in the boiler room.
Kung Fu Freddy. Yeah, that's a whole other movie for sure. Animated. I think that's got to be animated. We get Jackie Chan in there.
Yeah, I think Robert's a little too old to be busting kung fu moves.
All right, we went through the Jasons. Next, we're gonna hit Steve's boy here. You know, Leatherface. It all started with a little movie in the early '70s with this guy.
Gunner. A more gentle giant you could not meet. Gunner.
Yeah, and you got a chance to hang out with him.
You know what? I had the privilege of him and I were just chilling. We it was after the show. He needed a ride, so I said, well, hop on in. And he got in, and then he called over Marilyn and Terry, who are in Texas Chainsaw 2. So we drove them to their hotel, and we were going to go grab something to eat and everything. So we drove around Niagara Falls, and he was just telling me stories, and we were listening to the Beatles, and like, I was like, how surreal is this? Like, it was great.
Yeah, and what a, you know, to a bigger Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, it could not have happened to either.
I know. I honestly thought, like, I was like, someone pinch me because this is not happening right now.
Yeah. Mike and I had this conversation a couple weeks ago about who's just the ultimate. He thought Leatherface for sure. That's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Terrifying in every way.
Yeah.
Just brutality and just no remorse.
No. Like he was just a machine, like a force of nature.
Yeah. As we move on, Bill Johnson was in part 2. Now I know that this is probably the one you wish we did not speak of. Yeah, we're not going to fault Bill on this one. This one was script.
No, yeah, uncomfortable dinner. I know, right? And Gunnar explained that whole dinner to me. That it took. I guess Marilyn, when she broke, when she was in the first Texas Chainsaw, was crying and flipping out. That was real.
Yeah.
I guess it took close to like 30 hours. It was over 50 degrees. None of them have showered. None of them, like, it stunk in there because Tobe was bringing in dead animals for like the atmosphere and everything. And he said it was the worst like situation ever.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Then we went quite a while without another Jason. Did I miss one here? I did miss one. I do apologize. I think I showed the picture for
3.
This is 3. I apologize.
That's 3.
Yeah, this is 3. This is R.A. Mihailov.
Yes. He's a pretty cool cat. R.A.
Yeah. For some reason, I missed the picture from part 2, so I apologize to Bill. But do I really?
Yeah. We all try and forget too.
Not his fault.
It's not his fault. Just a shitty movie. Ooh.
I apologize for excluding him from our list here, but that was just a technical error here.
Mandy?
The movie Mandy with
Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage to me is, I don't know. I think I'm allergic to him. I break out in a rash every time I see him on a screen.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen Mandy yet.
No,
it's one of those movies that I remember putting on my list and just kind of keeps falling by the wayside. But I did watch. What was the one where he's in it's almost like a Chuck E. Cheese type place?
Yeah,
I did watch that one, and that one was ridiculously awesome.
You know what's funny about that one is I don't think he's far off that. I don't think there was much acting.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, I apologize to Bill for excluding him on the list here. But yeah, this was part 3.
The mask was better in this one. You know what's funny? Part 2, the mask was done by Savini.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he did the 2 mask. Unfortunately, the movie itself was drizzling shits. But
right,
I'd like to put it lightly. But Savini did a good mask for number 2.
Yeah. And then we had to wait a while for the next one, but the wait was worth it. And I met this guy a couple of times. I got to smoke outside of Hamilton Comic Con with this guy, and it was an interesting time, let me tell you. And we would love to get this guy on the show for you because, man, Andrew Barnarski, you know him from the early 2000 remakes. There's 2 of them. You know him as Latimer from the program.
Yeah.
He was in Hudson Hawk.
Oh yes, as Twix or yeah. A bigger dude you will not meet.
A scarier dude you will not meet. I was so entertained the whole time. I think that's what kept me from peeing myself because he was just shelling out these great stories to us. But yeah,
you want to talk about uncomfortable situations like conversations with guests? We had that with him.
Right. 60 seconds, decent. Yeah.
My wife and son came with me to that Hamilton show to work the booth. And I went up and just chatting with Andrew because he liked the artwork I did of his character.
Sorry, Steve. Thanks for coming out, Martin. We appreciate.
Thanks, Martin.
Yeah.
So we're just chatting about art, and my son's with me, and my wife walks up, and Andrew's like, "Hey, who's this?" And my son's like, "Oh, that's my mom." And he's like, "Your mom's really hot, kid," like that. And I'm like, I'm standing right here. like I'm right here. You're like hitting on my wife. It's like, you're lucky you're 7'1" and 500 pounds.
Oh, man.
And my son didn't know what to do. He was so uncomfortable at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he definitely brought it as Leatherface, though.
Oh, for sure. We got to get him on the show.
Those 2 are 2 of my favorite movies for sure.
Oh yeah, the beginning in that chainsaw one, yeah, so good.
Yeah. And then this one, I didn't get to watch this one till it had already been out a couple years. I think I remember hearing about it, but then just I don't know. I think maybe because of who released it, it just wasn't like a huge theatrical release. I kind of fell through my cracks. But you reminded me about this one, and then I went and watched it, and wow. I mean, other than the differences in casting, which I think we both agree on, he wasn't the greatest fit for the look.
No.
But he brought the crazy.
Oh, he did. I like that they did a swerve in this one, though, too.
Yes.
Because remember, okay, spoiler, everyone. Everyone thought it was the great big silent kid, the mute kid, until he got all shot up on that bridge. Remember?
Right.
And it turns out he was Leatherface.
Yeah, this is Sam Strike.
Man, I
But
know
yeah.
some of the parts in this movie are hard to watch, man.
Oh, it is hard. I watched this one with Amber, and
Steven Dorff brought it though, eh?
yeah, Stephen Dorff was great for sure.
He was a nasty dude.
And then just last year, I believe we got the Netflix exclusive, Mark Burnham.
You know what? This movie got a lot of shit. I liked it.
I did like it. There was parts of the story I wasn't a fan of, but the tone I definitely loved. I definitely loved the Leatherface.
Yeah.
The kills were great.
Oh, I know.
There was not a lot to hate for this movie for me.
I've never wanted a person to die more than that lead actor. That the girl who got decapitated at the end, I was like, yes, she's dead.
Yeah. He was the annoying kid in the wheelchair from the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kill him. Oh man. Yeah, the Next Generation, yeah, with Matthew McConaughey and what's her name?
Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger, yeah. That brings us. We still got news. We still got a review of Children of the Corn. So we're going to go a little over this tonight. We usually do about an hour, but probably going to be an hour 20 maybe. Just stick with us a little longer. We got our Michaels to go through, news review. So Michael Myers again. Big three. The first guy, Nick Castle, and of course Tony Moran, who did some of the stunts as well in this. Just fantastic.
Yeah, a legend.
Yeah. Part 2, Dick Warlock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Part 2, I loved part 2. Part
Me
2
too.
scary. Part 2 made me terrified of hospitals.
Same, right? That was crazy. I will be buying that game.
Yeah, definitely. It's that and the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game is coming out, both of those this year.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I'll be picking up both those for sure. And Dead Island as well, the new Dead Island.
Why do you got to do this to me?
Moving on to where are we? Number 3, Curse of George P. Wilbur. Number 5.
That mask, though, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Chris Durand.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, Don Shanks.
Don't you?
Don Shanks was actually in 4 and 5. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, 4.
He kind of has a Razor Ramon thing going on from WWE, yeah?
Yeah, he's oozing with some machismo.
Machismo?
H2O, as I said, I stood corrected. Chris Durand was in H2O, which,
Oh, man.
yeah. Every franchise has that one.
This one has a few.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to be nice. Other than the first athlete, which is a classic, yes. The Curse of Michael Myers. He was a machine in that movie, yeah.
He was, man.
Yeah. That's the one with the famous closet scene, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
Isn't the next one kind of a doozy, though, with Busta Rhymes? Isn't that one?
Yeah. Did I mix those up? I did mix those up. Curse of. Yeah, I don't know what I did there.
Oh.
I mixed those up. But yeah, Resurrection was Brad Lorry. I don't know why I have the wrong picture here. But yeah, then we get to the zombie ones. Obviously, Tyler Mane.
Oh, my God. He just brought it like crazy, eh?
Yeah, the first zombie one is definitely one of my favorite Halloween movies.
Same.
Second one,
It's almost like a bunch of film got left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I'd like to see the director's cut.
Me too.
Yeah, because that might bring a lot more. We see Chase Wright Vanek here as young Michael, as we got the flashbacks there. And then the last trilogy, the latest trilogy that we got was James Jade Courtney.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And he was, of course, in Halloween Kills, and the Corey Cunningham movie.
Featuring Michael Myers.
I'm never not going to make that joke. I'm sorry. It's the Corey Cunningham movie now.
I know, right? It's so bad.
We can't get 3 good Halloween movies in a row. We can't.
No, that's the curse of Michael Myers.
It's too big. That is the curse of Michael Myers. Oh, jeez. Yeah, we figured it out. It was an ancient druid curse. And
you just can't get 3 in a row.
They like things in twos. Those druids are famous for their twosomes. You hate it ends. Yeah.
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 It was painful.
It was. But yeah, that's our list, man. Hope you guys all enjoyed that. We're gonna get right into the news here before we give you our review of Children of the Corn. In horror news this week, if you're a collector like I am, I have to try and stay off these sites because I'd spend too much money. But if you're a fan, if you're of our age, or just that pop culture fan, how could you not want to own this from NECA?
That's nice.
Yeah, we got in the red here, we've got the 8-inch figure with fabric clothing. Comes with the alternating winking head, the famous Elvira wink. The second one, the Toonie version, as they're calling them, is a 6-inch, and it comes with her dog, Gonk.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. We talked about the possible animated Evil Dead series last week with Bruce possibly doing the voice. He was at South by Southwest to premiere, obviously, Evil Dead Rise, which came out to great fanfare. And he was quoted as saying, when Sam Raimi says, I, Sam Raimi, will direct another Evil Dead movie, then I, Bruce Campbell, will consider being in it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Chainsaw's Cross, man.
Sam, please.
Yeah, right. Now it's on Sam. It's
yeah.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, God damn, this is Larry David all over again. Because when Larry David came back and did those couple seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm after being on that little break, and was asked if there was going to be another, he basically went, yeah, as long as HBO keeps letting me do them, I'll keep doing them.
Ball court.
Yeah. There you go, HBO. It's up to you. I'm not taking the blame.
Exactly.
We talked about this last week that this was coming. Smile is getting it's a priority now at Paramount to get a Smile sequel off the ground.
Nice.
This movie made $216 million on a $17 million budget.
Unbelievable, eh?
It was the first 2 weeks, so repeat box office champion, #1 champion for a horror movie since 2016. Do you know what that movie was?
No.
And when I looked up the year and saw the list of movies that came out that year, I thought, oh, it's got to be The Conjuring or Conjuring 2, whatever it was that year. Got to be. Nope. Don't Breathe.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic movie.
That's a good movie, man.
Yeah. Gina Gershon is going to be in something. And, this is one of those things where it's like, we didn't think we were going to get something like this. Like, this was one of those things that kind of came out as a joke when it came out. It was just a joke trailer in a Grindhouse movie, but you're telling me this is happening? Oh, come on now.
We spent $2,500 on this.
Come on now.
It will happen.
Unbelievable. When the first time we try and show a trailer on this show, and this is why we fired the tech guy. Anyway. Now it's going to play. No, it's not. You get the idea. It was the fake trailer that we got for Grindhouse, the Thanksgiving movie.
Oh, the Eli Roth one.
Yes. Yes. The Eli Roth movie. Actually, if you were in Ontario, you may have heard that they were filming. Oh my God, this is a disaster. You heard that they were actually filming this up in Port Perry over the last 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. The famous Thanksgiving parade scene that we couldn't seem to show from the stupid trailer. Yeah, being shot in Ontario. Looking forward to that movie, Eli Roth. Yeah, 10 years, man.
Wow.
10 years since that faux trailer came out at the beginning of the Grindhouse movie.
And Eli loves his super gore.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be the last trailer we try and show on here. Who, Blood and Honey. I saw it this week. Steve hasn't seen it yet, so we're not going to review that. But in the news again this week, as today it was supposed to open up in Hong Kong, but 2 days ago, censors pulled it, and they're not giving a reason.
What?
Yeah. So sorry to all those people in Hong Kong that aren't going to get to see Poo, Blood and Honey. And I'm not going to apologize for just calling it Poo, Blood and Honey because I like it better.
I like that. It has a smoother ring.
Yeah, it spices it up a bit. I did see it this week, and yeah, we'll talk about that one once Steve's had a chance to see it, and we'll break down Poo, Blood and Honey. The more you say it, the worse it gets almost.
It makes me kind of like, ugh.
On a serious note, we do want to put our deepest thoughts out into the recovery of one Sam Neill,
Yes.
who told everybody this week that he's actually been in remission for the last 8 months. The 75-year-old Neill underwent treatment for blood cancer. But he's doing better, and he's actually heading back to in front of the camera. So we hope to see many more Sam Neill roles in the future.
Yeah, we wish him all the best.
Yeah, he's fantastic. As
Yeah.
we see the picture from In the Mouth of Madness there.
Oh, so good. Event Horizon, like he's been in all the big ones.
Yeah. This story came out of nowhere. 30, almost 40 years later, 50 years later, like we're getting Faces of Death movie?
What? Is it going to be real death this time?
Right. Oh, man. This movie, it came out in 1978. Some of it was fake. Some of it was supposedly real. The jury's still out on that one, but it made $35 million. Spawned 7 sequels, and Legendary Pictures says that they're coming out with a new Faces of Death starring Darby Ferrariara. That's hard to say, or it's just my spelling. She stars in the show Euphoria. I'm not familiar, so
No, I don't know. Do you remember the whole mystique around Faces of Death? Like,
right?
I know, right? We better see some real death this time.
Is she gonna die? Does she know she's gonna die?
You got to read those contracts.
Fucking agents, man. Fucking agents. That's a weird one. Yeah, I look forward to seeing this.
Yeah. Yikes.
I'm still not sure on how I feel. I'm still not sure how I feel about this, but hey, if Zombie can do it, why not Slash? Slash said that he's starting his own movie production company called Berserker Gang, and he's getting into the horror game.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, who better than Slash?
Exactly. When you got a name like that. Right.
I heard a great Slash story today. It's probably older because it was still when Conan was on TV, but I'm going to tell it anyways. I'm a big Aerosmith fan. And when they fell on hard times, it kind of broke up in the early 80s there. Joe Perry sold a bunch of his guitars. And one of them that was really personal to him was, I think it was a 59 Les Paul.
Ooh.
And sold it. And, obviously Aerosmith, huge resurgence in the early 90s with those albums, Get a Grip and whatnot.
Permanent Vacation or whatever.
Yeah. Was in a position to, hopefully buy the guitar back if he could find it, and tried to track it down. And it actually made it to Slash's hands. They were friends. They toured together at that point. He started calling him about the guitar. He's like, oh, man. He's like, don't ask me that. He's like, I don't want to part with that. Bugged him for a bit and started to feel like, this is really infringing on our friendship, and I'm not going to ask about it anymore. Slash gave it to Joe Perry for his 50th birthday.
No way.
How fucking cool is that?
Wow.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great stories about Slash.
Yeah. I've only heard good things about him. Like, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love hearing those stories.
Me too.
And last but certainly not least, she seems to be the queen of horror lately. Obviously, we saw her in X. We saw her in Infinity Pool. And now Guillermo del Toro wants Mia Goth for his upcoming Netflix adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Ooh,
Not sure who she's going to be playing, but yeah,
that's cool.
Sure. Okay. I mean, Mia's
Yeah.
killing it. So
She's awesome.
regardless how I felt about X, I really loved Infinity Pool. So
Yeah. Like I think she's like pretty much on fire right now. Like keep it
she
going.
really is.
Yeah.
We wish her all the best. We're about 10 minutes over here. So we're going to get to our last little segment here, and we are going to review the latest Children of the Corn movie. Steve and I both watched it this week, fresh in our heads still. Steve, I'm going to put it over to you.
I liked it. It was probably one of the best in the series. I question the parents' use of poisonous gas to clear out a person out of a kid's school.
Yeah, it was. This one was dark.
It was really dark, man.
The kids were creepy. It was dark. There was a lot of really brutal scenes.
Oh yeah,
CGI, little suspect at times.
At times it was.
But I still did love. I did love what they did with it, and we won't try to kind of spoil too much because this did come out. So I stuttered there, but yeah. I enjoyed this one. I think it's probably the best in the franchise.
Same.
I'm not saying a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of great corn movies. I'm sorry.
When you have a lot of bad movies, being the better one is pretty.
Yeah, because the first one is really the only good one.
Yeah.
After that, the sequels are kind of.
Yeah.
But we do the thumbs up, thumbs down kind of thing. So what do you give this one, Steve? One and two?
One thumb up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 1.5, I think.
Nice.
I'm going to give it a thumb and a half. I really liked it, man.
That's cool. Yeah, I liked it. Had some really good gore scenes.
So, if you're a fan, go check it out. Me and Steve both recommend it. Above average for us.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it. So, check out the latest Children of the Corn.
Super creepy kids.
Yes. And that about does it, man. We want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We love interacting with our fans, and we love seeing you. So come join us again 2 weeks tonight, as we do on Thursday nights. And remember, kids, for Steve McGinnis, for me, when you're going shopping, shop smart, kids. Shop S-Mart. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. Good night, everybody. Have yourself a great weekend.
Bye-bye.